Dan here, DD Travel Shop. So we made her back from Power Tour. We're just kind of putting some stuff away, giving the car a once over. And I figured we'd do a video of saying why you should not do Power Tour. So I mean, you know, you really don't want to do Power Tour unless, I mean, you want to hang out with a bunch of good people and have a really good time with your friends and see a bunch of cool cars. So I mean, if you want to avoid all that, just stay home. So we had a blast. The car did good. I'm actually just giving it a once over right now. We're having some detonation issues, so it was rattling itself like crazy. Oh, the car did really good, I gotta say. We were driving around and it would like under load and like, you know, high gear, it would rattle and stuff like that. So I pulled some timing out of it. We were running really good fuel, and then it would go away, then it would kind of come back. And as it turns out, I don't know where I put it, but the hold down I had on the distributor just didn't have quite enough hold down, and the timing was infinitely adjustable, advancing itself, which in turn, it was spicy, had a lot of power, but it was an issue. And I noticed that the last day when we were towing the project car, which no one knows about yet, home, in high gear, so we pulled over, we had to get gas, and all the small town had was 87, and it really didn't like 87 octane. So we put some octane boost in, it went away, so I'm like, okay, let's play with the timing. So I think we got that figured out. I actually just took off the vacuum advance, set it where I think I want to be, and we'll drive it. But this car did really good. So anybody who is panicked or overthinks it or whatever it may be, just get a car, make it happen. Our biggest issue was the drive there. So we had 1,700 miles to day one Atlanta. Then I think Power Tour's 1,000 miles maybe. And then slightly less on the way home. We stopped in Nashville and went back. But realistically, like we did 2 Power Tours to get the Power Tour with worth of mileage on our own, with just, you know, the tools and stuff like that. So that's the only issue. If you're down in the area, anything will make it 1,000 miles. There was a lot of cool cars there. It was great. People are asking how much it cost. There are a few gripes I have about the cost of certain things, I will say. And stupid hair. And a lot of people had the same issues. So our biggest expense was fuel. Obviously, we put 5,000, just under 5,000 miles on this thing. And we got roughly 14 miles to the gallon, and then towing like 13 and a half. So you do the quick math there, but it was probably $1,400 or $1,500 worth of fuel, which is not a small amount. Hotels were another hassle. They're not cheap, but you gotta sleep somewhere. You could camp, you could do all sorts of things like that. But
however, the difference between
a
$60 hotel and $120 hotel is vast, and take the $120 hotel.
There is you get what you pay for. One hotel was like almost $300, so the one night we stayed, and we were just so tired, and we just had to find a place on the way home. So we probably had another $1,500 at least in hotels. We went down early, you know, to work on that car, so we had some different expense and whatnot, obviously. But those are your 2 big expenses, and I mean, you got to eat wherever you are, as far as I'm concerned. So food is food. We didn't buy one thing. I mean, you know, that's that.
Well, I bought some 99-cent salt and pepper.
Yeah, Danny bought some Cracker Barrel stuff. But realistically, all said and done, it cost us about $5,000 Canadian. So let's say that's like $3,500, $4,000 American, which is no small amount of money, definitely. And so we went for a full 2 weeks. We had the bigger expense in fuel, and obviously the extra days to build that car. So I think the average person could probably do it for a couple grand, $2,500 maybe, give or take, which I don't know. That's a weekend in Vegas for a couple of people, or, you know, going to Mexico or whatever. So if that's what you want to do, have at her. The real benefit is, I mean, you put the miles on the car. Now I feel so confident in this thing. You know, what I'm going to do, so we have our tools here. I don't know if I ever went through what I brought, but it's very minimal. I have a bag of my electric stuff, impacts and grinder and whatnot, a generic Stanley deal, miscellaneous nuts and bolts, and then a red toolbox which had like wrenches, cutters, some electrical stuff, and that's it. We didn't really use a whole lot. Honestly, the person who used the most of our stuff was lucky. I had to rewire a relay for his air conditioning. Otherwise, we did pretty good, knock on wood. We had a floor jack, some jack stands. I did jack the car up once to roll the fender, I guess. So I will say that, you know, block of wood. Just absolutely basic stuff. And then in the well, this actually worked out nice with the wagon. I just kind of jammed that full of plug wires, belt, spare tire, miscellaneous fuel hose, rad hose, gaskets, Cold War motors, body filler. I brought some of that. You know, if you have a patch in the radiator or something like that. get it all taken care of. I mean, that was it. Realistically, it did really well. So what I'm planning on doing actually is whatever I took out of my toolbox, I'm like my garage box, I'm just going to write it all down. I'm just going to buy new stuff and leave this kit exactly like this, because I don't think we'll really need much more than this. Obviously, you can always use more tools. There's no bones about it. But from a basic make it happen on the side of the road, if you need more than this on the side of the road, you're going to have some significant issues. I had an alternator and a coil and a few little things in the car, but very basic stuff, you know. Keep it simple. So again, I know this past year there were some people there that I guess they had watched my videos about Power Tour and stuff like that, and so they said the reason that part of the reason, I guess I should say, that they went and all that. I loved hearing that. And I mean, there's probably very few people who are going the kind of mileage and the amount of effort that we did. So if that doesn't show how much fun it is, I don't really know what else we can say. But man, we met so many cool people, so many good dinners, so many, just, I don't know. It's like my favorite time of year. I absolutely love it. We're addicted to it. I think we're gonna try and do Cruising the Coast in October, maybe. Apparently it's a fantastic show, so that's another few miles south. And we gotta build a different car, because you can't bring the same car to another show the same year. So I got some ideas there what I want to build. Should be a good one. What else did I want to say? Oh, anybody who bought a shirt and bought a sticker and all that, honestly, thanks so much. You guys put fuel in the tank and paid for a few seedy hotels for us, which really helped us out big time. And
it's just cool to see people wearing our shirts.
It's very trippy. Danny's working on some merch stuff, so we're gonna try. We realized there's actually people want to wear our junk, and we currently use Teespring. I feel terrible about it because it's just absolute garbage. I wear the shirts and they just fall apart, so I can't possibly justify that. So we're gonna work on our own thing, make that happen. Otherwise, I don't really think there's a whole lot of other things about Power Tour that I can say. Like I said, it's a few dollars. There's some stressfulness to it. There's a lot of waiting in line. Cooling system, I've said it before and I'll say it again, that is the absolute key. I'm sure there's a lot of other Power Tour videos out there. People are going into the venue with the hood popped, they're overheating and all that sort of stuff. This year the weather wasn't too bad. Last year was a whole other situation for sure. But I can't stress that enough, a proper cooling system. And again, so you guys watching the videos and buying the t-shirts and all that made a huge difference. And we had so much help along the lines, and I'm very fortunate to have those sort of things. But we had a bunch of Holly parts on here, the transmission. Those guys at American Powertrain cut me a bit of a deal. Overdrive, just like couldn't have done it without it. The rear end from Quick, all that sort of stuff. That, I mean, the panic, the 11th hour cooling system issues, and Corvette John there, drag week, loaned me that Delta fan, the Delta PAG guy, and like he helped me out. Just everything worked out, and it was just so nice that all these people kind of, for whatever reason, wanted to help out, a long-haired Canadian hippie, but we made it happen. And I was telling Danny, this thing is just an absolute cruiser now. I mean, we got 5,000 miles on it, went from whatever it was, 400 or 500 test miles to 5,000. I did an oil change on it today. I don't know where we're going to take it next, but this is my favorite driving car I think I've ever had. I like it better in my work truck to cruise around in. It rides better in the tow truck, it rides better in Danny's Kia. All the other Tri-5s, like we drove that 57 last year, right behind Danny. That's LS 400. It had same control arms, all sorts of stuff, but this is just, I don't know what. It just rode so much freaking nicer. Man, there's just neighbors coming by like crazy. But again, this setup, we had all the cooling in the world for it, but this one couldn't be simpler. Now this is where things get a little sticky, I guess. I am a big believer in the keep it simple now. I've learned a few lessons, but everything we did, 9-inch rear end, you can buy anything you want at Summit, which I learned. We have that transmission. I can't imagine breaking it, but if you do, everybody stocks that sort of stuff. At the front end, all the brakes and all that, everything is Speedway stuff, which is just, I believe it's just G-body or A-body, whatever, so you can fix anything you want on the side of the road there. I mean, everything is very simple. If you're bringing anything that's kind of trick, I would recommend bringing a spare thing of it, which kind of sucks because it is a few dollars. So if you're running some sort of an EFI or whatever it may be and you're concerned about it, you may want to have a second computer in your glove box. The only thing I think I want to do this now, I don't really want to take it apart because it's running so good, But I tell you, we built that 57 Chevy for Brandon at Newburn's place there. We put in that, I think it was an aluminum 5.3, just bone stock, and whatever at the MSD deal that made it run with carburetors, and it just worked. Like, my God, it just worked. And I'm kind of thinking that might be the way to go. I'm not a big LS guy because I don't feel like they have a soul, but I did buy already an LS motor to sit on the floor. We might do something with it. But a 6-liter with the exact same driveline, maybe a camshaft in it. I'd like to build a set of headers. I've heard you can take big block Chevy headers and just weld on different flanges, and then you can have like fender wells and put a carburetor on it, and then it's just good. And then anything that lets go, run maybe truck accessories, the whole deal, everything is like O'Reilly has it all, or Advance, whatever it may be, and you're set. The only gizmo that you're panicked about would be the little MSD box that runs the whole deal. Because even this is, I mean, it's a very simple setup, but I did bring a spare distributor because it uses a small distributor, which is kind of, you know, the auto parts store isn't going to have that. So a few little things like that. That was all. I mean, it was relatively trouble-free. And I gotta say, there wasn't a lot of cars we saw broke down the side of the road even. So get out of your own head, open up your wallet or your Visa card, and go out there and enjoy it. You meet so many cool people. Last year we met a pile of people. This year we met even more new short friends who are great to hang out with. I love Chase, he's a good guy. But you know, it's just easy. Every hotel parking lot was a good time, every dinner's a good time. There hasn't been a bad time yet. Now that being said, I'm sure our year is coming where we're gonna have trouble. I know last year we hung out with Derek and Jessica Vice Grip there a fair bit, and this year they had nothing but troubles. Car issues and transmission, and then buying cars that had issues, and that sucks. I do feel bad for that. They didn't get to make the event as much as they wanted to, maybe, and we saw Derek at the end. He looked a little tired, but you know, it's worth it. For us, we got home late Monday night, like midnight or something like that, and it was back to work on Tuesday. So I'm ready for the weekend, I gotta say. But that's that. Hopefully tonight I'll be able to edit the video of the car we got coming home. It was a good time. I actually had a blast. A 55 Nomad tow dollying a supercar on the way home. We got a lot of cool looks. The amount of thumbs up we got on this thing driving down the road, it was a really good time. The only thing we missed on the whole trip was a Taco John's, but we're going back. So thank you very much for watching and subscribing and all those things and supporting this ridiculousness. I don't know why you do, but I really do appreciate it. Up next, oh God, do we have projects. So the interior's done in Danny's car, so we got to go pick that up. It was actually done right before we left, so we got to do that. And I did borrow a lot of parts off her car, so we got to do mufflers and all that sort of stuff. I'm on it. Danny's car's priority. We'll get that going. I get it. We'll put the bumper on. That'll be up next. The 56 wagon, we got that like 80% done, and I was like, why would I drive this? I can take the Nomad on power tour. So I want to finish that. And then we have that Chevy 2. I'd like to get that running and driving. And then
Camaros.
I keep forgetting I own Camaros. People keep asking for them. I'm not going to lie, I don't think those will be a summer project. I think that'll probably be going into the fall. I have a few things I want to do in my 55 Chevy. The two-lane blacktop car has been sitting kind of not unattended, untaken care of, and I have a bunch of stuff I want to do to that as well. So those are all coming up shortly. Should be a bunch of small projects. We're bouncing all over the place, but it's summer. Let's enjoy it. Maybe we'll do a road trip. I want to go see Mount Rushmore. There's all sorts of things we want to do yet, and before you know it, the snow will be here. I'll be trapped in this little garage. I can weld quarter panels on a Camaro. So that's it for now. Comment below. Go on power tour. Do something fun. And if you're thinking about going cruising on the coast, I'll see you there. I hope. Let's go for dinner.